Thank you, Amber. Thank you for your introduction. Can everybody hear me? Okay. I remember last Friday, I have an opportunity to participate a new book release presentation from Jim Corian, a professor of Stanford. He is the author of writing the book from Build to Last and from A to A plus. Currently, he published a new book, Entrepreneurship 2.0. I remember he has a talk quite impressed me. That is over his 30 years, he drew a map to share to the all audience. Then last weekend, I start to consider for the last 20 years, can I drop a map so that I can deliver to our friends in Malaysia today about my work of a journey to material free flow of the Taiwan ETC. So this is a map I'm trying to share to you for last 20 years. Basically, I believe Taiwan ETC story is a transformation experience of Taiwan ETC. So material free flow is a disruptive innovation for nationwide ITS and the smart city. So it's a disruptive innovations. So back to 22, we start from ETC. And I think everybody know by 2014, we introduced a material free flow services. And now it's 2022. Everybody talking about mobility as a service. Everybody talking about everything as a service. So I'd like to highlight some of the critical insight for the material free flow project of today. If we look at the left-hand side, I think back to 2022, we start from information technology related. By then, I remember everybody talking about microwave, everybody talking about infrared, RFID, GNSS, etc., DSRC. By then, people was challenging me, why you use microwave, why you are using infrared, why you are not using this, why you are not using the GNSS, etc., etc. So that's the information technology focus. And then right now, if you want to do the material free flow, I started to realize that is not a technology only. The technology is transformed from traditional technology into a digital technology. So if you see the right-hand side is a digital technology. I have a word under that. It's A, B, C, D, E, F, G. But that, in summary, A stands for artificial intelligence. Can we use artificial intelligence technology to embrace in our project? B is blockchain. C means cloud computing. B means big data, or for easier to remember. E means IoE. It's Internet of Everything. It's M2M, machine to machine, etc., etc. F means financial technology, fintech. Right now, everybody talking about smart payment, digital payment, etc., etc. And the G is 5G, or in the future, maybe 6G. So today, I like to focus on the digital technology, the change to the digital technology. So I think the material free flow is another angle of a digital technology of the countries. Digital technology, number one. You see that the middle part is starting from digitalization and transform into a digital transformation. I remember back to 2022, 2020, 2002 or 2003, we started a manual toll, and then we have ETC, the government offering a BOT project for us to do the ETC. By then, everybody talking about electronic toll collections. And then we are facing a big change. From 2014, we have to do the material free flow, we have to do the distance-based tolling. Then I start to realize it's a journey of digital transformations. So today, in my presentation, I more focus on traditionally tolling service into today, that's tolling as a service. In other words, it's task. tolling as a service. And in other part of I remember that last year in Hamburg, ITS World Congress, everybody talking about MaaS, mobility as a service. Right now, I think mobility as a service is a very common word in our ITS world. And then I start to realize, actually, people are talking about mobility as a service, people are talking about platform as a service, people are talking about data as a service. So basically, it's everything as a service. So that's my second point of my today's discussion. The lastly is the operation focus. I remember at the first day of the ETC, the government gave me a BOT project, meaning build, operation, and transfer. So I have to build an operation model for transform from manual toll into electronic toll. So by then, we have to consider about REMS, we have to KPI, we have to consider about detection rate, we have to consider about ANPR, et cetera, whether their KPI can meet the requirement of the ETC. And right now, if you want to migrate from ETC to multi-free flow, it became a business model because it's a public services. So I have a word here called BSR, is a business and a service requirement. In other words, whether your customer satisfy your services, so it became a personalized mobility services. That's another key to be focused. Another key to focus is win-win-win, because this kind of projects basically has deeply involved the government. So the government has to win. Because this kind of projects, multi-free flow, it becomes deeply involved with the concessionaire. So the concessionaire has to win, or the operator has to win. Of course, the lastly is public people. When they are using your service, they have to win. They have to win. So basically, this picture is to highlight what I have been doing for the last 20 years. So I like to elaborate with it easier for you to understand why I say it's a digital technology, it's a digital transformation, it's a new business model, it's everything as a service. Okay? So I draw this for your better understanding. So we are talking with the Malaysia bilingual meeting. So the tolls detection is stop and go to pay tolls. To remind you, there's a barrier. The barrier here. So the throughput is about 800 vehicles per lane per hour. And by then, the major focus may be like a smart car, touch and go car today, easy car in Taiwan, cash car, etc., etc. So see the left-hand side, the car has to stop and pay the toll. So that's touch and go. Okay, has to stop and go to pay the toll. So when you're talking about ETC 2.0, it becomes still has barrier, but it's quicker. Like the ETC 2.0 is throughput is increased to 1,000. The technology focus is more on 5G, infrared, GNSS, RFID, etc. So use different technology to fulfill the slow down to pay tolls. But basically, the car don't need to stop. That's 2.0, non-stop with barrier. Okay, but in some countries like Taiwan, we start from 3.0, a single lane free flow. That was back to 2006 and 2013. There's no more barrier. The throughput is increased to 1,500 per lane per hour. And then the focus is 5G, infrared, GNSS, RFID, and digital technology. So that is the point I keep talking. The A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Now in the 3.0, and then we move to sensitivity. Okay, it's a multi-free flow. There's no barrier distance-based since 2014. The throughput is 2,100, and the focus is technology, operation, service, and business. Service and business, it became the major focus on the multi-lane free flow, especially in the era of COVID-19. It became a contactless economic. The people like it because you don't need to stop to contact, become a contactless technology. It became an ESG concept, ESG. Okay. Now I'd like to share some of the multi-lane free flow of background. Okay. For somebody you may not so familiar with Taiwan, we have 20 years of BOT concession to FETC from 24 to 2025. And the land area is 36,000 kilometers per square. And the population is 23 million. And we have registered vehicle is about 8.3 million to 9 million as well. And the length of the freeway is over 1,000 kilometers. The gantries we built is 337 gantries. It's interesting. It's not so big, but we have 300 gantries. And distance-based tolling. It is a distance-based, or you can call it a cross toll. Okay. And then we are not alone. We start from manual toll back to 1974. It's cash and a ticket. And then it's a fixed rate, toll booth fixed rate. And then became a single lane free flow, still offering a pace base. It's about, I just say it's a fixed rate, and 1,800 around vehicles per lane per hour. So it's a quicker because there's no more barrier. Starting from 2014, January of 2014, we launched multi-lane free flow. It's nationwide applications. And it's 2,100 vehicles per lane per hour. And most importantly, it's flexible, low pricing. In other words, the design we made in Taiwan are able to support fixed as well as flexible, low pricings. So I know Singapore is very success in ERP. It has flexible, low pricing. And if you deeper understand our design architect, we also are able to support flexible, low pricing mechanism. That's very important. For sometimes in the Lunar New Year, because traffic is very heavy, and we offer a flexible, low pricing for the purpose of discouraging driver in the highway. And for some special event, we are able to develop a section by section different pricing scheme. All these are very important in multi-lane services. So it's a smart highway nature, okay? So if you see the operation result, is everybody adopting the services, basically. All the motorists using the multi-lane free flow services. And ETC transaction is usually daily transaction is about 17 million transactions every day. And the RFID utilization rate is 94%. This is another critical point for a success of multi-lane free flow. And in the right-hand side, you can see the ETC usage rate is 100%. You might be curious to know why the RFID utilization rate is 94%, and then ETC usage rate is 100%. Because besides RFID, we also using state-of-art AI ANPR, AI ANPR. So we are able to reach to near 100%. Now it's 100% utilization and a near 100% accuracy. And because it's a public services, so today Taiwan every year we do an individual survey. The customer satisfaction rate is 96%. I think everybody of you might understand a public service to get the 96% of satisfaction rate is not easy. Okay, and this is another point I'd like to highlight. If you want to operate a multi-lane free flow environment, the equity of the tolling, the accuracy of tolling is the key to success. if the people had find way to avoid being told, the whole system will be challenged. The whole system will be collapsed. So if you see the figure here in our operation, the tolling accuracy rate is 99.9999. Almost is over 59 accuracy. The vehicle detection accuracy rate is 99.98. And then the most importantly is the throughput. Compared to before, when we launched the multi-lane free flow, the traffic volume increased, especially in the toll booth area, increased by 3 times. So that's the merit, that's the benefits from the concessionaire point of view. It can increase the throughput. It will increase the capacity. And most important is a successful PPP project in Taiwan. So that's an operation result. Okay. And then, as I say, it's no more than a traditional technology. It's a digital technology. And in front end, we also upgrade into a detection sensor is RFID. Maybe you might say RFID or infrared or DSRC are all detection sensor. Yes, it's all traditional DSRC. However, we notice that RFID is easier to identify. It has an identity. By using of the identity, it's an open standard. The most important is an open standard. And if the nationwide want to do the digital transformation, can fully utilize the open standard ID to develop the relative ITS project, relative smart city projects. So this is a very important change. I remember back to 2010, while we are facing a serious challenge from the public, from the government. And I started to decide, we introduce RFID. So the RFID is cheaper, easier to adapt. So a lot of the benefits to make it a successful implementation. Of course, we need a laser detection sensor, night sensor. Camera is another key component in the success. And also the digital video, DVR, CCTV. So all these are consolidated in one gantry. And of course, you have to be able to assemble it and screen it into a clean data. So a sensor is easy to adapt. However, how to clean the edge or the roadside data into a unique, near 100% unique of identity of any user is a key to success in this project. Okay. So as you can see, license plate, maybe sometimes it's not clear, but if you have RFID tag, then the vehicle ID is clear. So it's a complementary technology. The license plate image as RFID also is a complementary to be able to identify into a very clear ID of the vehicle. Okay, I have 30 minutes. Okay, Taiwan multi-lane free flow. This is basically, I think everybody of you are quite familiar with the architecture, from the sensor network to the network platform and to the application layer. Because in my first slide, I say it's no more a technology. It's become a service-centric. It becomes a business-centric modeling. So the whole architecture is clear, it's very important. So in the network platform, we have collection, monitoring, LPR identification, vehicle management system, rating, billing, analysis, and also authentication, authorization, and accounting. Because you have to identify who is who, whether individual vehicle is correct in your billing process. So this is an analysis of sensor, cloud-based, and a big data nature. And the top is a service platform. If you have a right mediation platform, then your service platform is just natural growth. Like ETC, you want to do ERP, you want to do logistics, you want to do e-parking, you want to do smart city. It's all under the same operation platform, same service architecture. Okay, so if you ask me, what's your challenge in Taiwan multi-lane free flow? I think the number one is the schedule is quite challenging. I remember we have only 2.5 years to migrate from traditional ETC to a multi-lane free flow. Why we have to build 319 gantries within 10 months. So that's a big challenge. The second challenge is because all the highway is in operations, it's impossible to build from the brand new environment. So how to build a seamless migration mechanism from flat rate toll plaza to a distance-based multi-lane free flow to 100% multi-lane free flow challenges. So that is a very important challenges. I know in our friend in Malaysia, you have a lot of concessionaire, and so for this part, it's even challenging because you have to assure that rate collected by the concessionaire is the same. You have to assure that the motorists pay the toll has quite near the same to their previous applications. So how you redesign this kind of mechanism to become a nationwide application of multi-lane free flow? So that is we are not alone. It's everybody are facing the integration complexity. So how to make this smooth moving is a key to successful. Of course, huge transaction volume, also penetration rate is another key I just mentioned. If the e-tech penetration is low, then it's difficult to adapt, to penetrate. And another point is because the multi-lane free flow is no more a project, it became a nationwide services. So if you are not able to service in the highway as well as the urban area, as well as the city, then it is not a nationwide digital transformation per se. So that is some of the background I'd like to share with you. Okay, so this is the transformation process. You can see in 2012, that's a milestone. That's a critical milestone. Is the red line means the DSRC infrared, two-piece infrared. And by 2011, we start to realize e-tech is key to success in our multi-lane free flow. Then I start to migrate, to adapt the customers back to 2012. And in 1.5 years, our e-tech penetration grows from 3.25% to 94.14%, 94%. So by then, we are able to smooth migration of multi-lane free flow. And then the red line is DSRC. By 2014, it became phase out, OBU phase out. By 2013, 12, at December, we phase out. So that's a very important transformation experiences. And we don't bother the driver to pay any additional cost because we buy back. We buy back all the OBU. We give e-tech for free for the first 2 years of the launch of the services. We give the 10% discount incentive to the driver who are using the e-tech services. So those are some of you see the top is a technology and operation oriented ETC to transform into a service oriented digital transformation ETC. So this is a highlight, my first page of the transformation of the country, transformation of the project. Okay. Then this is a sustainable operation business model is very important. The user are facing distance-based tolling, parking, or FETC cars, ETC stores, call center, channel, etc., etc., and have service contact part. And a toll and a BMS. So it's a front-end process, billing and settlement, and also overdue payment, etc., etc. So this has to be sustainable and operation business model from day to day. And I'd like to share with you that in this model is not as smooth as we are doing today. We have a lot of the de-op process because of the customer requirement, because of technology innovations, because of the environment changes, we have to be, keep the develop and operation simultaneously. That is the way we are doing for the last 10 years, I would say. Okay. And so this is, I said before, if you're doing the ETC and the tolling services, it's quite relatively simple. It's only a toll booth. You collect the toll, and also you involve with bank and also service channel maybe. However, it's not so sophisticated. But if you want to do the nationwide multi-lane free flow, it has to be assured that the working relationship or stakeholders are correct. So this is the structure we operate in Taiwan, including the government, TA, NFB, quite similar like a DOA, LLM in Malaysia, third-party auditor, and ETC operator, FETC is what we are doing. We involve a lot of banks and also involves a lot of service channels. So in between, there are a lot of cash or data or commission percentage arrangement in between, so that it became operable, and a business model. I think this is a key to multi-lane free flow. If you are not able to run an operable and a business model, sustainable business model, the service cannot upgrade. The people service cannot upgrade. The technology cannot upgrade. The nationwide applications cannot leverage the advantage of the infra operation backbone. So that is the key I'd like to highlight. Okay, so then people was asking me why this operation backbone is the foundation of the ITS. Basically, everybody knows that ITS services as a public information services, has personalized mobility services. This I keep emphasizing. This is a major digital transformation focus, and also mobile payment services. So if you see the applications in the right-hand side, public information has traffic information collection, management, traffic time prediction, broadcasting, as our friends, Dr. and Dr. Wen Jian was talking ahead. And the personal mobility services, the area I like to more focus, because once you do the multi-lane free flow, you become a personalized mobility services. It's emerging broadcasting, enterprise management, communication access control. It has to be personalized. By the advantage of mobile application, smartphone, everybody has a smartphone. So basically, we link with the service with the smartphone, with the 5G, with all the smartphone, with the apps, app applications. And lastly is mobile payment, smart parking, mobility. I'd like to share some of the usage we are doing today. So like this is smart traffic. We use, this is the urban road. Okay, it's not a smart, not highway. Okay, and this is a highway. You can predict very accurate the time. Okay, using our big data. And also we are able to use the big data to predict the highway, the traffic patterns. We are using the big data to advise to the driver, especially in the Lunar New Year. Highway is quite congested. So we give them an advising model. Say, okay, you instead of the start leaving from 8 o'clock, you might leaving at 8:30 or 9. It will be a shorter according to our prediction of traffic volume. So this model is quite successful implement while you are driving from north to south. Okay, and then we are also using the parking. Right now, Taiwan ETC has over 1,000 parking zones and over 1 million parking users are using our services. So it's also parking vacancy information, etc., etc. Okay, and also we are doing the smart safety. We are using especially the forking times or the running time, etc. And you can see that in the typhoon, we we are able to use the IYD, the smartphone, to notify the individual driver for them to move their car. Safety, okay, and also the parking services. I'd like to share, this is quite publicly used in Taiwan already. Entrance, ashes. And with the parking fee is $5, your account balance is something 395. So this is I call it a parking as a service. Parking as a service, okay. And this is a payment as a service because you have account, you are able to do the smart payment, including the McDonald's, even gasoline services. So e-tech payment platform is also implemented in Taiwan. Okay. So it's a mobility payment services. It's a multi-product based collision insurance, and we also using the operation backbone to offering pay-per-use automatic renew when a mileage run out or payback unusual mileage, or insurance cover collision on highway service area, or even buy insurance and settlement insurance claim online. So because it's a DBA, usage-based insurance, UBI, usage-based insurance, you need to have an OBU or a component in the device, OBE in the vehicle. But it's very expensive. It's difficult to implement. So by using the big data, by using the AI, by using the cloud advisory, we are able to co-work with an insurance company for a very successful advice about their scheme of the tariff. Okay. This is another part that we, besides the public information, personal information, mobile payment, we start to build an ecosystem. In other words, we work with Google Map. We work with the Google Map applications. We work with government informations. We work with the city governments, and et cetera, et cetera. So we build an API gateway for everybody to be able to do a smart city services. So I keep saying, multi-free flow, if you do things right, it will become a very important mobility application backbone for the nationwide applications. So in summary, I know my time is up. Note to the smart cities implementation of multi-free flow, 5G, cloud computing, big data, IoT to a smart city. That is what I was previous talk. We are able to, we have to embed the multi-free flow to a new business model. If the multi-free flow are not able to come up with the right business model, it's not easy to sustain. It's not easy to upgrade your services. It's not easy to adopt your new technology. All this involvement is a nationwide digital technology process and a journey. The third part is we have to engage multi-free flow to mass applications. Everybody talking about mass. In our modeling, we're starting from tolling as a service from starting point. And then we upgrade to parking as a service. And then the third part, we have to work with a different party or even the government to try to develop a mobility as a service applications. So it has a step-by-step approach in our journey of the process of the ITS. And lastly, e-tech-based ETC is a certain, we are proven, in Taiwan we are proven e-tech-based ETC is a sustainable and a business model, PPP business model. And with that, I'd like to thank you for your attention. I will close my talk here. Thank you.